So this offseason, there was a lot of questions about, is Giannis actually going to leave the Milwaukee Bucks in the foreseeable future, right? Giannis was putting a lot of pressure on the organization, talking about how, he doesn't want to be with the same organization for 20 years and only win one NBA championship. What is Milwaukee going to do? They needed kind of retool this, kind of bring in some fresh talent. What is going to be the answer? Damian Lillard, he becomes available. No one even really thinks about it. Doesn't look like Milwaukee has enough. He's going to Miami. That's the deal. And then ultimately, out of left field, boom, Damian Lillard becomes a Milwaukee Bucks and joins Giannis. And the big question, though, was, is Damian Lillard enough to keep Giannis, right? Does Giannis wait? Does he look at it as like, okay, yes, Damian Lillard, great talent, comes in, me and him, we can make some noise, but what if we don't? Does he kind of wait to see what the result is this season and maybe even next season, and then if it doesn't work out, leave in free agency? There was still that pressure, right? Milwaukee has done an excellent job with Giannis, right? Got a little itchy, got a little antsy. Boom, here's Drew Holiday. You'll win an NBA championship. Giannis getting a little itchy. This time, he's actually, wait a minute, he's not just getting a little antsy here. He's starting to really kind of paint this narrative. Okay, here's Damian Lillard. Right? And look, I was critical of Milwaukee, re-signing Brook Lopez to the deal that they did, Chris Middleton to the deal that they did for a long time, because I just felt like Milwaukee feels in many ways like you need to get Giannis more help, right? And Middleton and Drew Holiday and Brook Lopez, they're going to be very good, but they're not good enough to handle things and carry over the backload for Giannis, right? They want to chip. Yes, that's great, but there were a lot of circumstances that went into that NBA chip, right? But that's every NBA chip. I'm not saying that there's people love to come up with reasons why there's an asterisk on every chip. No, I'm not saying that. Every team has dominoes fall in their place in order to get an NBA championship. And they had that, but it felt like, can they do it again? Will they be able to get back there, or were they kind of just this one-hit wonder? And now adding Damian Lillard, I do think really does help in that direction. There are a lot of questions, though, and I'm not personally fully sold on it. And if they didn't get Damian Lillard, I fully believe Giannis was gone. I do. Because, again, the writing was on the wall. Even Giannis was talking about after they did it, you see all these teams improving, all these teams getting better, all these teams making big swings, and Milwaukee just brought everyone back that got eliminated in the first round of the playoffs, right? I think that the pressure Giannis put on them made them go, okay, we need to make a big splash here. Damian Lillard was that big splash. And we'll see. Maybe they win an NBA championship. I'd love to see Dame get a ring. But we've seen teams and very talented players be put together, and it doesn't always translate to success. There's a lot of positives with Damian Lillard. They got a go-to closer. They got that consistent scorer. They got somebody to take a huge burden off of Giannis. And Middleton now becomes the definitive third option. I think that is huge. But what about their defense? Right? Do teams really start to exploit Damian Lillard? And then Giannis, teams have found ways to make things difficult for him. Time will tell. But again, is Giannis going to stay? Is he going to leave? What is going to happen? Well, now we have our answer. So, breaking news, Giannis gets a $186 million deal. Giannis has agreed on a 3-year, $186 million contract extension. Sources tell ESPN per Adrian Wojnarowski. This is huge news. I love seeing this, right? This is great for Milwaukee. This is great for the city, the team. This is, I think, great for Giannis, right? He's a guy that he's not these, the U.S. market type player, right? You see these foreign players, they're really committed. They're okay with being in a small market. They're okay with staying with the team long term, where, there's a lot of player movement, which I am totally okay with player movement, right? Even if Giannis left, I would have been totally okay with it, right? There's a lot of questions about Luka leaving. I'm okay with it. If a team isn't doing what they need to do to put you in proper success and you can find that elsewhere, go do it, because that's what a team is going to do to you. I am 100% for players being the leaders of their own destiny, being the leaders of their own destination, where they want to go, all of that stuff. So I want to make that clear. But same time, see these European players, they're more loyal and they seem to be more patient at times and stuff, right? And so I think that this is good, right? Giannis is a king in Milwaukee. And now he gets to stay. He gets to stay comfortable. He's loved Milwaukee. He's loved living there. It's his home. That's everything, right? He's got his brothers there. Everything you can want. Everything you can need, right? So I do think that this is huge for him and for just the league in general, right? Because if he did go to some, create some super team or some powerhouse or something like that, it's just like, now you don't have the different, just multiple teams. Now it's just kind of like the last thing you want is a Warriors Kevin Durant situation again, right? The last thing you want is to see Giannis go to some super team, and now it's just like, all right, well, they're winning it every year for the next 4 years. Good luck, right? No, you want to have that disparity. You want to have 3 or 4 teams in the West, 3 or 4 teams in the East that could all potentially come out and have that argument, right? And, who's going to emerge. It just paints those stories, paints those narratives. The only thing that would be greater than that is if you hit that like button and you subscribe to the channel. Hit that subscribe button. I'd greatly appreciate it. Should be lighting up right now. Boom. But back on track. I do think that having Giannis in Milwaukee with Damian Lillard, now there's not the concerns and the distractions. Right? You got him locked up long-term. His contract lines up perfectly with Damian Lillard. So now you basically have 3 years to try to win an NBA championship with Dame and Giannis. And if you don't, then Giannis is gone, right? If you don't win a championship in the next 3 years, that's it. You're not keeping Giannis. Giannis is leaving Milwaukee. If you win a chip or 2, right, in that time, then I could see Giannis kind of, saying, hey, I'll retire here. Because to Milwaukee's credit, they have done an excellent job. Because again, Giannis starts expressing his frustrations. Boom, here's Drew Holiday, here's an NBA championship. Giannis starts expressing his frustrations again, getting a little antsy. Boom, here's Damian Lillard, right? Well, now you have that track record. Now you have that credibility with Giannis. And he's rewarded you both times, right? So now it's like he has faith and belief in the organization. He knows that, okay, if I put a little pressure on them, they're going to do whatever it takes to keep me. Because I fully believe if Giannis didn't put the pressure on Milwaukee doesn't go get Damian Lillard. I don't believe that they would. Maybe, we don't know for certain, but we've seen Milwaukee be comfortable just kind of staying in place. We've seen Milwaukee just say, hey, you know what, we're good enough, right? And and now you're basically locked in. And look, Milwaukee, they're gonna have to figure some stuff out because they're paying, just between Giannis and Dame, are paying a ton of money, right? And so they're gonna have a hard time building a year in and year out competitive roster because you're talking about Chris Middleton making what? He's making $35 million a year, $40 million a year, something like that. Now Giannis and then Dame, right? So you're basically tied in with just 3 guys. Brook Lopez, you got under contract for the next 2 years or whatever. So that's good. But it is something of concern where it's if you don't win this year and, if you don't win next year, they're probably not winning. Honestly, if they don't win in the next 2 years, I don't think Milwaukee wins because, again, you're going to have, 1, Dame would be 2 years older, and 2, Brook Lopez, he's older, and yeah, his money would fall off the books, but you still are basically cap strapped. So Milwaukee doesn't have a bunch of flexibility. They're not this huge destination for players to go to. So it's going to be, it's going to be a little, or could be a little complicated for them, right? I hope not. Again, I want to see Giannis have success. I want to see, all the stars have success. Dame, it'd be great to see Damian Lillard win an NBA championship, but it's not as cut and dry as it may seem, right? They're going to have to figure it out, and are they going to be able to, right? Because Damian Lillard's been the guy, the number one option, the franchise cornerstone for 12 years or whatever it's been, right? And Giannis has been the same thing. And this is his town, his city, his team. Dame is coming and visiting him. Are they able to kind of put their egos aside? It's easy to say, right? We've heard Giannis oh, he's the point guard. I'm going to let him be the point, all that stuff. It's easy to say that. It's another thing when you start getting into real game things and you're the franchise guy and you start getting all the blame because you're losing, or, you didn't take the final shot, or, there's that, like, who gets the ball at the end? Well, it's my team. Like, you never know how things are going to work out until you're in the grind of it all, right? I do think it will work out. I don't know if it'll work out to an NBA championship, but I do think that they'll have success. I think that they will be very good. I do think Damian Lillard helps tremendously, but I don't think it's this, like, that's it, give them the NBA championship now. Time will tell, right? They have an excellent just unit this year. I worry about their backcourt defense, right? Especially if they're starting Malik Beasley, because Damian Lillard and Malik Beasley, that puts a lot of pressure on Giannis and Brook Lopez and even Chris Middleton, right? Because now they're going to have to really lock in defensively. And look, I understand Brook Lopez and Giannis, they were the best front court defensive unit in the league. But it's one thing when you have a guy like Drew Holiday that is an excellent on-ball defender, excellent point of attack defender, is really good at just funneling the offensive player into the big man. And then all Brook Lopez has to do is just basically clean up. It's another thing when Damian Lillard and Malik Beasley are getting just blown by, and now Brook Lopez and Giannis are on an island having to defend these guys. Possession after possession after possession. So it's going to be interesting. It's going to see how it works. But I do think Damian Lillard takes a ton of pressure off of Chris Middleton. I think he takes a ton of pressure off of Giannis. I think everyone kind of goes back to their natural roles, right? Middleton as the third option. Lopez is the fourth option. It's just Damian Lillard and Giannis kind of trying to figure it out. And, I think that they'll be better and more efficient offensively and being able to close down the stretching games. Dame is a guy that's clutch, right? He's not afraid to hit big shots. He's hit some of the biggest shots we've ever seen, right? So that's in their favor as well. But anyway, as always, this is a discussion, so I pass the question on you. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments below. What do you think? What do you think of Giannis' new contract extension? Do you love it? Do you hate it? Somewhere in between. How do you feel? Let me know down in the comments below. Don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel. See you all in the next one. Thank you.